What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down some of Jakobi Meyers' route running. Today we're going to be talking about how to use this slide release, a variation of the corner route, and then we're going to be talking about how to run a post route against kind of this like off-man situation when you're out of the slide, okay? But first things first, fellas, I want to talk to you about a 28-day wide receiver gym plan that we just started offering on my website. Full 28 days of workouts to help with your route running, hands, explosiveness, speed, everything that a receiver needs to improve to the next level and just to be that top receiver on their team. Check out that very first link in the description to get access to it. 28 days of receiver workouts. Hope to get you guys on that soon. Let's get started. So the first thing we're going to look at here is this slide release, okay? So the slide release by Jakobi Meyers, it's very important that you guys know when to use this release and obviously how to use this release, the technique behind it, right? But a lot of people know the technique. I see people do this all the time, one-on-one, 7-on-7, all kinds of stuff in game, but the thing that screws a lot of guys up is they don't know when to use it, okay? So they think that they can use this anytime they run a slant, right? If your quarterback's going to be getting pressure in your first read slant, you probably don't want to go with this because it takes a little bit too long. It takes time, right? So you want to go with this like if you're the third read on the play, okay? So what I mean by that is, let's say he's got a slant and then maybe like the number 3 receiver and the number 1 receiver, they have like this crossing concept. They have like the scissors concept. Then the quarterback's going from post to corner to slant. That's when we want to work this thing. We got to understand when to use it. Or maybe you're backside. Maybe you're the last read. Maybe quarterback's coming to you late. You don't want to get to the window too fast. So that's why it's important to know the whole concept of the play. Now, you see when he comes off, he kind of uses that first step to shoot him out. So this is like, a lot of people like old school be like, oh, it's a false step, right? This is kind of more so like the terminology I use with my receivers, that's like a power step, and you're pushing off of that step to shoot you out to this like range right here where this DB's forced to make a decision, right? Everybody, all DB experts, quote unquote, love to say like, oh, when he slides like this, just go get hands, right? But the thing is when you come off the line and you have this kind of range right here where this DB to get hands has to address you, he has to come at you, that's when you can get some separation, because whatever he decides to do, he's going to be wrong, right? So we slide out into this kind of open space right here at this like 45-degree angle, and he decides to stay disciplined and watch my hips. Make him make a decision. He could either come at me with 2 hands and jam and be off balance and reach, and then I could just swat him by with my right arm because I know to run a slant, I just got to beat his inside arm. Or he could shuffle with me. I could be out here and I could hit him with this 1-2 and sell like I'm going vertical. 1-2. You see how much he's throwing his upper half? He's throwing his hip out. That's the key. When you guys take that first step of the slide, that first step right there, like a slide 1-2, and you kind of throw this crossover, this first step is pushing you out wide. It's a quick, powerful step. You're pushing and you're stepping outside the DB's frame with this leg, and you're throwing your upper half, because where's the DB going to be looking? Hips. So I got to sell with my hips. So you see how he sells with those hips? We get this DB to open up the gate a little bit, open up his hips and kind of jump to the outside. Now, off of this slide release, let's say I really get this DB to commit. Let's say I really get him to jump. What's he going to be doing if he fully commits? He's going to be speed turning out of there, or in this case, he's going to be opening up right here, right? Now, this is what we call oh shit mode, where he's like, I just got beat off the line, and now I got to recover. Now, the thing is as a receiver, what I can learn from that is that when I get this DB off his platform, he knows that he got beat. So he's going to keep his head down. He's going to be pumping his arms. He's going to try to recover as fast as he possibly can. You see, it looks like he's almost running a 40 right here. So that's how we have to be, right? Because it's not about just getting separation. It's not about just the stem, not about the move at the top of the route, not about the move off the line. It's about keeping your separation. So get separation, then keep separation. So when I come off of this 1-2 right here, I'm driving off of this leg, and I'm pumping these arms because I don't want him to recover. It is a race to this spot. A little bit better of a ball from the quarterback here, and we catch this thing and run, but that's a plenty of separation in this case. Just make sure that we win that race back to the ball. It's all about, especially on a slide release, because it takes a little bit longer, right? Maybe he starts to get hands, we get a little bit physical, the timing gets messed up just a hair. So let's make sure we get out of there and we get out fast to make this DB pay for being off platform. Let's watch this thing again one more time. So he slides, use that first step, throw the 1-2, get him to jump outside, get him to commit his hips, and then accelerate back in. So now we're going to be looking at this kind of like variation of a corner route right here. So we're going to be looking at how he's able to sell this inside release. There's kind of this triple move, get this DB to speed turn, then we flatten it back out. Okay, so now let's watch this thing full speed. So he takes this inside release, 1-2-3, gets him inside, breaks this thing off to the out route, or kind of like this variation of a corner is, God, the name is just totally slipping my mind. This is a variation of a corner route where you break it off flatter. In the comments, if you guys want to help me out there, the name is just totally slipping my mind. But we're still going to break down this route. So it's a variation of a corner, and really all it is we're just kind of breaking it off flat. Okay, so we're coming up to the top of this thing and breaking it off flat rather than taking this thing on a 45-degree angle. So when we're here, And we take this inside release right now. When we hit this 1, 2, 3, we're trying to sell like he's just going to be running inside, right? Where here we're trying to make this DB think. You see how he goes 1, 2, 3. We're trying to make this DB think that we're just going to take this inside release, right? We're attacking his blind spot. I give him a 1, 2. I want to make him think outside, and then I break back underneath him. I break back underneath to this post, dig, whatever it is, drag, however you want to think of it. So that's why that 1, 2, 3 has got to sell, and you got to make sure that we sell with my upper half, especially when this DB's turned, especially when he's facing the quarterback. We want to close the distance with him and attack that front hip. Now, when you hit him with this 1, 2, 3, we got to make sure that we make him think inside, because that's what's going to force this speed turn. Because if we could get this DB to jump or sit on this post, and you're going to see how in the next clip how the post kind of sets this thing up, right? So the next clip that we're going to take a look at, it's actually going to be a post route from Meyers, but this is how we set it up, right? So he throws to the inside with his upper half, gets this DB kind of sitting on this inside breaking route. Now I break up to his blind spot, right? Now the thing about breaking up to this blind spot, whether you flatten this thing back off on this kind of out route right here, or this corner route, or whether you burst up vertical, we got to have speed. Because when we have speed in this blind spot, that's what's going to force him to overcommit and speed turn fast. Because you can all agree here, right? He can't see us. That's why they call it the blind spot, because he cannot see us. He has no eyes on us. So if I could get into that blind spot with speed, he's going off a field. So he's going to speed turn out of there fast, or in this case, he opens up right here, but that opening up is slow. Opening is slow right here. And then we pop this thing off in stride and I accelerate off this break. That's a great job by Meyers. So again, if I was a DB, I would have speed turn right here, right? Or sped turn. I would have turned around. I would have, because it's obviously a faster movement. When you guys open up your hips like that and we get this receiver, or we get this DB downfield, like 12, 10 yards downfield, and we're running full speed and he's bailing out of there, very hard for him to open up those hips quickly, right? So I know where I'm going. DB doesn't know where he's going. So if I don't give him an indicator on what I'm doing, and I don't give him an indicator on how I'm going to be running this route, that's what forces him to open up, and he has a nice slow open up, and I can pump those arms and again, widen the distance. The ball's coming here. We got to win the race to the ball. It's a great job by Meyers working this type variation of a corner route. Watch it again, full speed one more time. So he's here, 1, 2, 3, get to that blind spot, pop this thing off, making sure we have speed to that blind spot to force that DB to open up or to force him to speed turn. Okay, so now, next clip here, we're looking at this route. He's coming out here. He's running this kind of post route. So he's attacking his leverage, bursts upfield, works to restack, gives this kind of sudden jab to the outside, or sudden break, I should say, to get to this post, right? So now, when we're coming off here, you see how when we get this DB in kind of like this off-man situation, like this kind of catch technique, you see how he kind of gives him this little 45, or not, he gives him this little foot fire, right? Little foot fire jab to the outside, and he takes this inside release. Because why? DB's giving him the inside release. So let's not force anything. Let's just take what the DB gives me. That's something that's a mistake that a lot of guys make, is that if a DB's lined up outside shade and they have a like a fade route or maybe a corner route, they force the outside release, and then they get walled to the sideline. And in this case, especially coming out of the slot, if you get walled out here, the spacing of the route is screwed up, right? So we got to make sure we just take what the DB gives me. Now, when the DB gives me the inside and we got a post-breaking route, we obviously can't just run up to, because again, he's outside shade because he wants to force us to the inside. So if I just take this inside release and don't work to restag and just kind of round this thing off, he's going to be all over my hips. So when this DB gives me the inside release here, let's take the inside, let's work back over the top, and then let's pop this thing off, right? So again, works to the inside here, works to restag, gives this head shoulder fake to the outside, trying to get this DB to sit like he's running a corner route, right? Because again, you could take an inside release on a corner route. That's how it all varies, fellas. It's the moves at the top of the route that you guys have to trust. That's what's going to get you separation, right? That's not what you do off the line. Off the line, yes, gets you separation, but when we want to get a lot of separation, it's trusting ourselves at the top of the route. Getting off a press, too many people make it super complicated. It's not the most complicated thing in the world. We just know the type of release we got to do, how we keep timing with the quarterback, and then let's burst up. But the moves at the top of the route is what gets us separation. So you see how he pops this thing off right here, breaks to that post, and again, making sure we pump those arms. Let's widen the distance with this DB. It's a race to that spot. Great job by Meyers making this catch in traffic as well. Let's watch this thing again, full speed one more time. So coming off here, a little chatter, give him that jab, work back over the top, pop this thing off, and run this post route. Great job taking the inside release, working to restack, and giving him that one cut at the top of the break. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Again, guys, if you're a receiver and you want to get stronger, you want to get faster, you want to be more explosive, which helps with route running, blocking, hands, all the above, check out that very first link in the description. Wide receiver gym plan, 28 days of workouts, specific workouts that you could do in the gym. There's probably about 10 to 12 like kind of splits every single day. So it's good work. Hope to get you guys on that soon. And again, if you guys have any questions at all, please leave those in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I'll see you guys next time.